Good afternoon, folks. I'm going to try to quickly run through this PowerPoint on TPACK. And TPACK is probably the most widely used technology framework that we're going to look at. And it really gets at and has us to start thinking about why would we use technology in our classrooms. And that's what I want us to think, not just as we think about or examine TPACK, but throughout the course. Why do we want to use technology in our classroom? Of course, we want to make sure that before we move forward on that, we understand exactly what TPACK stands for. So it's technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge. The purpose of TPACK is to essentially just give us a framework for thinking about integrating technology into teaching, into our instruction. And Mishra and Kohler, and the articles that they originally wrote were in the 2000s. They really perceived this at that time as being a rather difficult task. And the reason that they say that is because the technologies that have been used in the classroom traditionally, whether it's a pencil or overhead projector, had a degree of specificity. There was one thing that you used those for, a pencil you used to write with. They were transparent. We all know how a pencil works. It's a piece of wood wrapped around, or wood wrapped around a piece of graphite with an eraser on the end, and that they were stable. This pencil hasn't changed since Henry David Thoreau's family was making pencils in their factory in the 19th century. Whereas these digital technologies that we're using today are much more difficult because they're protean, in the sense that our cell phone, it's a calculator, it's an audio recorder, it's access to the internet, we can make a phone call, it's a calculator. As I said before, it's got any number of apps that do many things. They're unstable, right? Imagine this phone in comparison, for you guys who are old enough, in relation to the Nokia phone that was given to me when I signed up for a cell phone account back in the 2000s, about how much they have changed over the last 15 or so years. And they are opaque. The technologies, unlike the pencil, we don't know what's going on in this box, right? When I used an overhead projector in my room, if something was wrong with it, not a whole lot of things that it could be. Probably the bulb was burned out. When your computer's down, most of us don't have any idea why it's not working. So this is one aspect of why these digital technologies have become more difficult for teachers to integrate into their classroom. So as we learn in our reading this week, this work is built upon, Mishra and Kohler's work on TPACK is built upon that of Schulman, who focus on how we need to align pedagogy with content knowledge, right? So if we're teaching, we know that if we're teaching certain content as it relates to math, that we want to use manipulatives with the students because that's a sound pedagogical strategy to do that, right? So Mishra and Kohler, as we already said, they add this content to the content knowledge and pedagogy. They introduced technology, right? And they created this framework that we see right here that has 7 different components. And I won't go over all of those. Generally in my class, where we want to focus is on the center part of that Venn diagram, where they're all working together, where the technology, the pedagogy, and the content areas are all working together. And I'm going to stop right here because I'm going to run out of time on this, and I'll make a second PowerPoint to complete this.